A Cancer Survivor's Etiquette Guide: How to Act and Communicate with Someone You Know Battling Cancer. It's been said that one unforeseen stitch in the fabric can change the very tapestry of our lives. For me, that one unforeseen stitch started with a scratchy throat and a box of cherry-flavored sucrets. At first, I thought it was just a sore throat, but then I had trouble swallowing. And after a battery of tests, a CT scan, and a biopsy, my doctor uttered those dreaded three words: "You have cancer." How could this be happening to me? I never smoked a day in my life and always tried my best to live a healthy lifestyle. But now, never mind about lifestyle, I was literally in a battle for my very life. I felt as though I had been struck by a thunderbolt. And to survive, I needed to take a deep dive to my very soul. Now, fast forward 8 years later, and with the support of my medical dream team and equally supportive friends and family, I'm proud to say I became cancer-free. You might say my biggest test became my testament. And when it does clear, I was not a victim, but a victor. When you are diagnosed with cancer, you learn a lot, not just about yourself, but about your family and friends who are doing their best to support you. You find out quickly that battling cancer is not a solo act. It takes your entire village along for the bumpy and unpredictable ride. Cancer is ubiquitous. It's omnipresent. In short, it is everywhere. We all know someone who has battled cancer. And this is clearly illustrated at the annual Major League Baseball All-Star Game, where the action is paused on the field while the public address announcer asks over 50,000 fans to stand up and hold a placard with the names of people they know who are fighting cancer. Needless to say, there's not an empty placard to be found among fans, players, or coaches. I personally found out that when you have cancer, people around you, though well-intentioned, sometimes can act in strange, weird, and often unpredictable ways. For instance, you might have a close friend pull a total disappearing act, while someone not particularly close to you turns out to be the most understanding and supportive of all those you encounter. Accordingly, here's my personal take on the types of people that a cancer patient may encounter along the road to recovery. Again, I think it's important to underscore that the cast of characters I'm about to describe, for the most part, have the best of intentions. The cold callers. Well, these are well-intended friends or family members that call you 3 times a week, checking in on you regularly, as if you had a common cold or merely the sniffles. Look, it's not their fault. They don't understand that cancer's a marathon, not a sprint. I found these calls to be quite exhausting. Yes, they're doing their best to stay in touch with you, but unfortunately, in an overbearing way. They tend to say things like, "Hey, I hope you're feeling much better today," or "How many treatments do you have before you're cancer-free?" Or, "Hey, did you lose all your hair?" Or, "Hey, how much weight have you lost?" Again, the cold callers are only checking in on you, but they fail to recognize that cancer doesn't come neatly wrapped up in daily updates. Next, we have the no-shows. Well, these are people I alluded to earlier that literally disappear when they hear you have cancer. Mostly they just don't know what to say or how to say it, so they just bolt right out of your life. Look, I'm no psychologist, but their actions could be the byproduct of their own personal issues and perhaps fear of their own mortality. Okay, fair enough. Next, we have the pontificators. A person fighting cancer will have no shortage of those who are willing to give their unsolicited advice. These are people who preach from their personal pulpit. They're totally convinced, often backed up by an article on social media, that they alone know what's best for you. Though meaning well, the pontificator can overload you with books, articles, texts, and YouTube videos, all designed to put you on a rapid road to recovery. If you're lucky, they might share with you their secret healthy shake recipe with the healing powers from the Garden of Eden. Now, these preachers are only trying to help, but their barrage of information can drain someone going through cancer of their positive energy. Next, we have the boneheads. You know, the real art of communicating is not only to say the right thing at the right time, but rather to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. Boneheads are people who make the most ludicrous and often insane comments that will literally boggle a cancer patient's mind. Boneheads utter flippant comments like, God gave you cancer because he knew you could handle it. Or, your cancer is not real. It's only a state of mind. You need to feel the force. Or, try this one. That which doesn't kill us makes us stronger. From the time-honored but often worn-out quote by Nietzsche. Or, hey, if you eat the powdered bark of an Amazon tree, it's going to heal you in no time. Or how about this one? I just read an article on social media that has a cure for your exact type of cancer. Well, look, the next two comments will probably hurt a bit more than others. I know exactly how you feel. My aunt's brother had cancer, and he recently passed away. Or, what do you think you did wrong to cause your cancer? Well, thankfully, we have the angels of mercy. And mercifully, these are friends or family members with a caretaker mentality. They almost instinctively know how you should feel and what you might need at any given moment. You might say angels of mercy know when to hold them and when to fold them. They know when to talk and just listen. They know when you might need them or just be left alone. Angels of mercy don't treat you like a cancer person. They just treat you like a regular person. However, they're always cognizant of the battle you are waging and the elephant in the room. If you are lucky enough to find your angel of mercy, fully embrace them. Let them know how much they are deeply appreciated. By the way, how would you best describe yourself? A cold caller? A no-show? Perhaps a pontificator? Maybe sometimes a bonehead. Obviously, we should all strive to be angels of mercy, but unfortunately, we're all imperfect human beings, and none of us come without flaws. Again, it's important to reiterate that the people I just described are, for the most part, only trying to do what they think is best for you. That said, as a cancer survivor, I offer up the following thought starters as to how one might more effectively engage and support a person battling cancer. So let's start with, what can I say? Well, when talking to someone battling cancer, it's important to show empathy and compassion, but not pity. You might say things like, hey, I'm always here for you if and when you need me. Or, I can't imagine what you must be going through. Or, if you need someone just to listen to, I'm here for you. Or, I don't want to overburden with calls, but know that you're always in my thoughts and prayers. Or simply put, let me know how I can help in any way. Next, you might learn a little bit about the cancer diagnosis. It can be physically and emotionally draining for someone with cancer to repeatedly give details and updates on their diagnosis. It might be best for friends to gather some information from a close family member as to the type of cancer your friend is going through. Remember, there are many forms of cancer, and not all of them come with a death certificate. Next, you should brace yourself for change. If you are visiting someone with cancer, you should prepare yourself for changes on how they might look, feel, or act. I know I felt a bit like tarnished goods while going through my cancer treatments. I was overly conscious of my potential hair loss, which I never lost, or my rapid loss of weight, which I did. And my multiple side effects often made me tired and irritable, and my attention span was sometimes quite limited. I look forward to visitors, but after a while, I wish they would just leave. I had a conflict. Between loneliness and wanting to be left alone. If you're a friend or relative of a person fighting cancer, don't take these things personally. It's just how those battling cancer often feel. Next, make future plans. Hey, don't be hesitant to make future plans, but not too far out with a cancer patient. I know I always was wanting to have something to look forward to. In the midst of my treatments, a friend of mine drove me to Yosemite National Park to witness the splendor and grandeur of the multicolored autumn leaves. Suffice it to say, it was a refreshing and welcome change from my daily grind to get better. Next, offer to help. I always found it difficult to ask for help during my treatments, and offering to help someone going through cancer can come in many forms. Offer to shop for groceries, drive them to appointments, perhaps cook a meal, help with housekeeping chores, troubleshoot computer and cell phone issues, offer to babysit, suggest driving their kids to school, maybe drop off some takeout food, go for nature walks together, or maybe just watch a ball game or share an upbeat movie. And remember, laughter is good medicine. Good-natured humor is one good way to take one's mind off cancer. And studies have shown that laughter has numerous physiological benefits, including being helpful in boosting the immune system. Finding the humor and absurdity in everyday life often provides a helpful and needed touch of levity. One bit of caution, however, go easy on the hair jokes. Next, treat them the same. Most people battling or recovering from cancer do not want to be pigeonholed or solely defined by their disease. So talk to them about things other than cancer. I know I often took solace in the fact that no matter what you're going through, life goes on. The earth will continue to spin on its axis. Humanity's always going to go about its daily business. Babies are born, people pass away, your niece graduates college, the Yankees try to win another World Series, the stock market goes up and down. Simply put, the beat goes on. But that's a good thing, because the cancer patient's world is bigger than just their daily grind with cancer. And finally, what does cancer teach us? Well, cancer taught me to heed the words of Rumi when he said, "That which strikes the oyster shell does not damage the pearl." I have learned that having cancer will probably change some friendships and might even alter your physical appearance. But surprisingly, some changes will likely be quite positive. For instance, I now find it easier to talk about important things that matter most, not the things that matter least. I also learned that time is fleeting. Heck, even the smartest person in the world doesn't really know how much time they have left. In short, we need to make every sunset count. I also discovered that a few good friends are far better than dozens of business acquaintances. After all, nobody ever said on their deathbed, my only wish is that I spent more time in the office. Cancer makes us realize that if you don't live a life of meaning or purpose, it really doesn't matter how long you live. Author Michael Josephson tells us how our days will be measured. What will matter is not what you bought, but what you built. Not what you got, but what you gave. What will matter is not your success, but rather your significance. What will matter is not what you learned, but rather what you taught. Above all, cancer taught me that life is too short to be lived little. None of us are getting out of here alive. So while you can, jump joyfully in the ocean, fully ignite the passion in your heart, hug warmly, kiss slowly, laugh insanely, and above all, eat more pie.